Okay, pledge of allegiance. Mr. Clerk.
I pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
I'd rather be called as hey you.
Hey, you. Okay, attendance. Well, we're all here who's here. Minutes of the regular board meeting. Wednesday, September 11th.
For approval?
I will second.
Any discussion? None being heard.
I have one
Go
correction.
ahead, I'm sorry.
The spelling on Pat Pomeranke's name is wrong.
Did I goof up?
It's just spelled, it's no big deal, it's spelled differently.
Oh,
Okay.
Pomeranski, I'm sorry, okay. That's it? How about amending to with his change? The Pat's last name? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Meeting minutes for September 27th, 2004, special board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the special board meeting,
As presented.
as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? None being heard, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. And then the minutes of the election commission meeting also held on Monday, September 30th.
I would move for approval.
Okay,
And I'll move second.
okay. Any other discussion on that? None being heard, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Amend the agenda, I don't have anything. No, I don't. Nothing to, you guys, anybody on the board? No? Okay, public comment.
Hey everyone, my name is Dan Mesher. I'm the proud superintendent of Onekama Schools. And I know you got a lot on your agenda, so I just take just a couple brief minutes to talk. We do have a bond proposal on the ballot. It's $10.5 million. It does not raise taxes. I'll look everybody in the eye and confidently say that. It's a well thought out plan that will impact this community. It will impact the next community or the next generation of learners at Onekama School. I'm a believer, a strong community is a strong school, and a strong school is a strong community. And it has a lot. It has a lot for students with safety and security. Those of you watching TV, you see that as a daily basis. So we are addressing that. We're also addressing infrastructure, the learning environment, each classroom, and then we are addressing, athletic, some athletic updates. It has a great community component as well. With our baseball and softball. It involves parking, restrooms that the community could use all summer long. It involves pickleball courts that our students will be learning 6th grade through 12th grade as a great lifelong skill that our community could use as well. And then a community room / our clubs and groups. So if you haven't heard, we have fishing club, we have esports team, where we have a lot of groups and clubs that will be using that, but also the community will be able to use that 1,000 square foot room connected to the school. They'd be able to use for Zumba classes or whatever classes that we will be offering with partnering with the community. So I just wanted to come in and meet everybody, introduce myself and say, hey, I hope people get out and vote this election. It is at the end of the ballot, way at the end. But just appreciate the time here, a couple minutes to express what you'll be seeing from the school district. If anybody's interested, I'm happy to give a tour, explain anything on that. OCSbond.com is a great website. It has frequently asked questions and it has all the information that any voter in this district would need. But I would personally be happy to take you on a tour, walk with you and explain anything that you would need. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I thought your mailer was very good.
Appreciate that.
It was well thought out and there's information there I think that people can glean. And it is on the end of the ballot. It's the last thing on the backside. So
Don't give up, folks. Don't give
no,
up.
turn the ballot over. Okay, thank you, Dan, very much. Anybody else? No? Okay, moving on. Oh, anybody online? Sorry,
Oh,
what's that?
So is there anybody on Zoom before you?
Anybody online want to make a public comment? If you do, please unmute yourself. Looks like no takers.
Okay. Financial report, balance sheet revenue. Expense and monthly invoices.
I don't, they were in the packet. I don't really have any comments, if there's any questions or anything.
No, okay. Unless somebody else does. Clerk's report, how's your new job?
I can't report on this.
No, how's your new job?
Sucks.
Okay, well, at least that's an honest.
Clerk's report, let's see, as of, I'm gonna say Friday night, we had all the AV ballots up to that point were shipped, mailed. Since then, we've been doing about 30 to 50 additional a day.
Absentee,
Pardon?
absentee ballot application, okay.
Believe me, it's a ton of work,
Okay,
but it's looking good.
okay,
We've had our inspection,
accuracy test,
accuracy test was done Monday without a glitch. All the equipment works fine, balanced out great. Basically, we're getting close to being ready to go.
okay. We're getting bounced back every day, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, we're probably about, close to 300 back
Oh, well, okay,
out of about 6. I think we're around 550, 600 right now.
okay. All right, anybody questions for the new clerk, Bob?
I hope not, because I can't answer them.
Okay, you're doing fine, Bob. I've heard good things, so everything's good. The treasurer's
Well,
report,
without Ed and Cindy,
Oh.
this would be a war.
okay. Thank
Selling
you,
them stop short.
yeah, thank you. Treasurer's report,
It was in the packet, just working through some of the things that we approved at the last meeting, like the email stuff and then the payment solution through BSNA, so those implementations will be forthcoming.
okay. Questions, anybody? No? County Commissioners, Mr. Donson informed me earlier today, he was not gonna be here, he has some other, a meeting to attend. And, Janice, I've never heard from her, so maybe we should just take her off. And just leave Jeff on, I would guess. He's the one that normally would come and give a report, so. Moving on, new business then. We have this back for appointment of trustee to the vacant position. I think Cindy and I both called MTA, I don't know if you talked to him, okay. So you wanna, it's the same story we both got, so,
Yeah, and I think I kind of mentioned at the last meeting, so I talked to Catherine. Who is one of the legal counsel there. When I explained the situation to her, she said, you know, I'll be honest with you, I normally would not advocate for this if anybody was talking about appointing a trustee. But you are correct, it needs to be done within 45 days. But what the law allows is if you don't, then the county clerk will call a special election and do it. She said, now in reality, do you think the county clerk's gonna do this? And she said, I think she actually said, I would encourage you to consider not making an appointment and let the election take care of it. I then also talked to her about administering the oath because of other comments made last meeting. And asked, could an oath be administered via Zoom or whatever, which the answer is no. So that makes some thoughts potentially problematic. So that's the conversation I
We figured out was 7 days or 6 days, so
I think we're 60.
6 days short, so you don't appoint anybody, Shelley's not gonna call for it. It takes longer to set up a special meeting than the 6 days. We will have an election by then, and there will be 2 people elected in the position that you won't need to fill, to me.
Yeah, and the only other thing I would offer as part of the discussion, I'm not, whatever, is that, you know, if we did not feel good not appointing somebody, then to me, a simple solution would be considering someone like Gene Capper, who's already being compensated as an employee. But to me, those are probably the either not appointing or if we feel better appointing somebody doing that, but those are just the options that I think make the most sense.
The problem I have is she can call for an election. She doesn't have to have it. She can call for election and then do the paperwork.
Yeah.
So she could
Yeah,
have an election. But I'm willing to gamble that she.
but she
does.
can't call before the general election, she doesn't have enough time.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
When that 7 days is up,
Right.
I'm willing to gamble.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, if I didn't think it was possible till I called down there and asked that question. And her and I had happened to call 2 days apart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't either because I'd asked the question 3 different times.
Does anybody talk to Shelley?
I didn't, because that would be another thing is I think,
But your guys still need to do anything today.
No, I'm just trying to avoid having a special meeting.
Well, yeah. Well,
It seems ridiculous to have to appoint somebody to a position where there won't be a meeting. And
it won't be
they'll be there
anything.
for 6 days and do nothing.
There won't even be, yeah, where are they gonna be?
See, that's the rationale that Shelley should have running through her head. This is ridiculous that you can to do this. But that's what the law says.
I mean, if you were to appoint somebody, for example, Gene, who's already on payroll, they would get a salary for,
7 days, 6 days.
yeah, 7 or 6 days.
You do that too.
It's just,
Yeah, I think it's just what do we feel more comfortable with, but to me, those are the 2 best options. Out of all the other options that we could have.
Okay,
well, I guess, here's what I would suggest. We don't take any action today. Dave, you check with Shelley. Tell her what the MTA said, see what her response is. And if she says, no, I'm gonna call a special election immediately, blah, blah, I still, it doesn't make any difference. You're not gonna have it because those positions are gonna get filled. So I just think you don't appoint it and we'll apply personally.
let's still call and check.
But if that's if the answer is different, then we can always call a special.
Right.
I just would be curious about the county clerk's opinion.
Okay. Okay, very good. Planning and zoning contract,
Oh,
was here
that
somewhere,
was about the invoice.
or invoice, I'm not the contract.
I wasn't sure why we,
It's just a bill to be paid.
yeah, it's a bill, it's a bigger bill, I guess. So this goes through March 31st. I think we should go ahead and pay it as part of the contract. I think between now and March 31st, as part of the budgeting for next year, we ought to have a conversation about the performance of the zoning contract. So I'm okay with paying it, though.
Yeah, I think we have to, I mean, we signed a contract, it's already, do we need a motion? Probably do, I would say,
It's
yeah.
a big enough one, I would just, I'll make a motion to pay the bill from October 1st, March 31st, 2025 for the zoning contract with Manistee County.
15,450.
I'll say
A second discussion? No? Okay, I probably have to have a roll call vote. Cindy?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
David, yes. Okay.
Okay, and two for just going over my, I'm not gonna be here anyway, so it doesn't matter. We shouldn't have to take it back to the board. We already approved the contract for the year.
Right.
This is the second thing.
I think next time it would not have, I would agree with you, but it was already here today on the agenda, so it's fine. You double did it, doesn't matter. Mr. DeVault compliance order, so he hasn't got, as of yesterday, there was still no fence posts. I still can't find a contractor to come and do the work, which we're entitled to do according
Yeah,
to.
we gotta go and inventory everything before, and I sent you that.
Right, I saw that. I went out there and talked to him and looked at the cars that had plates on them. Did not try to start it in, but I don't know if that's covered under plated, does plated mean running? I can't get. But I think an inventory, I mean, license number would go with me.
Well, was he amenable? I mean, you can have the sheriff go all it.
Yeah, no, he was fine, he was fine.
Yeah, I think we need to fill out that form for each car, take some pictures, so we've got full documentation. And then, we'll find a contractor and put a fence up. I mean, you give him one last chance to do it, but it doesn't look like he's gonna move, so.
No.
But then, I mean, he has to drag the cars, or somebody's gonna have to drag the cars behind it. Right behind it, to move the cars behind the fence or whatever, depending.
Well, the fence by his house, it'll cover them all up, you don't do any fence.
Okay.
So the
And I-
boats are all back there except for two, they move back up. He's working on, so he does move a boat up, work on it and put it back.
I think is there stuff in that platted road right away too, so it has to get moved?
Just one boat. Well, there was one boat.
So I think before the weather gets bad, we ought to schedule time to go out there and do the inventory and just get that, it shouldn't take more than a few hours for them.
Okay. All right, next week. I guess they're done, not this week. Well, it's supposed to be nice all week, so maybe this week. No, he was very amenable. There was no problem. I met him out there and he was fine with it all, so. Bernard dock violation. I talked to, I asked Tom if it was all right to talk to Mr. Howard. Tom sent a letter to Mr. Howard and said it was okay if I converse with him, so I talked to him on Friday to see if there was some way we could, I guess, change or resolve this without going to court. As of today, I can't tell you if anything's still there, because I didn't go by there today. I think the boat was pulled out. Oh, I don't know if the list is still there or not. Okay, so, the extent of my conversation with Scott was just kind of, can we, whatever, and he wanted to know what, if the board was willing to basically change its mind on what's allowed there. So I'd ask the board.
I'm not.
Okay, according to the road and ordinance, okay. I'll convey that back to Scott then, but it's.
I mean, is there gonna be, I guess, what are the next steps? Are they gonna issue a fine? Is Scott gonna say, okay, we'll comply and pull out the lift? Are we gonna allow them to have the dock next year since they're not in compliance and they've been put on notice, and they're still not in compliance, or all those things have to get figured out?
All those things have to get figured out, so I'll go look tomorrow and see if that's pulled out. I guess if it's still there, the next step would be to write that ticket.
I can take a drive on my way home and see.
Okay. Well, that would be fine. We did get all the information that he, from the Army Corps of Engineers. You saw all that? Okay. From the permit that was requested and what was given to them, and conversations he's had with the Corps back and forth in Detroit. And with Eagle and everybody else.
What about the survey?
Pat's supposed to be there Friday. So I had asked him, I think Bob, so we're gonna survey that road end.
I think it's already done.
Is it done?
I think he's just gonna have to restake it.
Okay, restake it, and then my opinion would be to put 4 of those markers that we have,
Yeah, I agree, but it needs to be done
2 down right away.
immediately before somebody pulls them out, because that's what happened. Survey a property that people don't like, they pull the markers out. or
Right.
Somebody pulls the markers out.
So you wanna put 4 or 6? I think I had a different opinion. 4, 2 by the lake, or do you want the other 2?
By the road, it's gotta be by the road where you turn onto it, otherwise people don't know it's there.
There'll be
Okay.
2 by the road and
2 down by the lake.
Lake and you put them without the ice removing them.
So 10 foot off the shore?
Depends
I
on
think about that.
how flat it is.
It's fairly flat there.
So when the water was high, it probably came back up more, so
Well, the
whatever
other,
makes sense.
the other ones have been there, but we put them back probably, at
15.
that time, probably 15, 20 feet
Okay,
in the sand. In the ice.
Do we know what happened to these? Was this road end ever marked with galvanized posts or did they just disappear? They just,
I think they were marked and someone took them. We have how many, 12? Can't remember in that pile I got.
I got one, I think.
Oh, okay,
we'll make sure we put plenty of concrete on these.
well, I don't think
It isn't the
concrete,
concrete,
the water took them out last time and then
lights
they
took them out,
Oh,
I,
good, these things.
except for the ones on the road. Snowballs put those up.
Back, waiting snowfall. back.
15 feet back, okay. Huck fence. I cannot tell you, cause I turned it over to zoning, Huck's had until, I think it was the end of September, I think. You could ask Harmon, their attorneys here.
I'd rather not talk to their attorney in an open session.
Okay.
He did say that they're not in compliance with the court order and the matter's been reported to the road
Did
commission.
you see his,
Okay,
did you see his letter? His complaint letter,
who?
Mike?
It's on that, but
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the enforcement from the county. Yes, okay. Okay, so that's all that's different. Okay. We'll let it go like that. Portage Lake Bible Camp Road Vacation. I don't know why this is back there.
well, it's that supplementary agreement that we talked about. We need to figure out what the path forward for that is, so that, they agree that they would allow historical uses. Yeah, there needs to be something to document.
In written form, right?
That's something that Tom probably needs to work out. with, Mark,
Okay.
so Richard.
No, you're right, Tom. Richard isn't back yet. That's why
Yeah,
it's in.
yeah, I mean, there's time. I just wanna make sure it doesn't, I'm gonna leave it on here.
No, leave it on there, cause that's why Dick's not back yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Storage shed, the guy's giving me a price for one that has a flat drive-on floor with an 8-foot wide door and 24 feet long and 12-foot wide, which I'm assuming is plenty big enough. Cause you said those pieces were 12 by,
There's 6 by 8, I forget off the top of my head, but we needed an 8-foot door.
Yeah,
You know how many of them we have there?
I
oh,
think there's 10 or 12.
but they're gonna buy more.
Well, I
As
mean,
long as you can stack them.
yeah,
Yeah, you can
we
stack 'em.
I think that's, we talked about, how long is it, Dave?
24 feet,
Yeah, we talked about 12 wide and 24 feet would be enough of what we have now and what our future growth would be, so.
you can maybe put some shelves on there and I can get rid of that, what is that box of stuff I have?
Oh, just the event stuff.
Thank you, the event stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the fire department probably has some few things they might want to store in there if they can't fit them in there. Potentially.
Well, he could do the barn a little bigger, because the length doesn't affect anything. It's the width they can't go over,
Oh, to move in.
to move it in
I
on,
think that's not big enough. So,
It certainly is a good start
good enough?
for me.
Okay,
You haven't said anything yet.
no, well, he hasn't given me the price yet, it's probably gonna be higher than I think, I know, these guys are all the same, Bob, I'm gonna get it tomorrow or Friday, what is tomorrow, Thursday? I'll get it from one way or another. It looks a little bit better than the ones down in Manistee to me. It'll match our fine new steel if we ever get new steel, okay. Hail insurance update, Bob, I might as well ask you since you've been dealing with that.
Well, insurance update. The window in the fire department's half fixed,
Okay. Half,
half fixed.
what does that mean?
Well, it's got two sections.
Okay,
One section's fixed, the other,
okay,
that's on the fire department's list. The mini splits are in stock and they're waiting for the roof to get done, and then they will be done. The roof probably will be done by this weekend, easily.
think so, 2 more days?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, they had great weather,
Great weather.
So
So he asked me today, so they can't get the same color trim for the fire barn.
No, I didn't say that.
No, he did today. The guy, the contractor,
Okay,
wanted to know if we'd be okay with brown on the fire barn. Instead of, I think it's gray right
it's
now.
gray, yeah, kind of mauve to be faded out gray.
You think dark brown would be all right? They have that in stock, they don't have gray in stock.
Oh, then we can always paint that. It's only a little strip this wide. If you decide to do something else, we don't have to go to a brown barn. Totally brown. That would be the hook.
No, I agree with that, so what do you want me to tell him? I told him I'd love it.
Whatever you got in stock, Jack, finish it. We'll figure it out.
You have no, what about you? Do you think it matters? It's just a,
If they don't have it in stock, that means they're gonna be here all winter long.
he said 2 weeks at least to get it. I don't care if they have to come back, it's not gonna leak in the meantime. You want me to just tell him to get the.
Care.
Yeah, if it doesn't impact the water cutters, I.
If it doesn't impact that,
Okay, and then the gentleman that did,
then what are you gonna tell them? You gotta give them
I'm
an
gonna
answer.
tell him to get gray.
Great.
The way it was.
Okay,
Yeah, replace it the way it was,
Yeah.
might as well.
as close to that color as you can get it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, same
Fine.
color. Hold on, same color. Okay, then the hail insurance adjuster for the steel. Did they come in that day when he was here and did the thing or not?
Somebody came and took pictures. and
Right.
That's all. I didn't meet the guy.
Okay,
Nobody
okay.
knew.
So I called him today to find out if he got the bid to give to whatever our adjuster. But he knew who the adjuster was, so I think they were gonna share all that information, but no one's gotten back to us, you or me, correct?
No,
Okay. So we originally gonna paint the steel where it got all dinged, and now
It said, no, let's replace it.
it's never gonna look right. It'll just have fresh paint with dings all over it, which will look
I
terrible.
think we had that discussion
Okay.
last meeting or the
I'll
meeting
call
before.
I'll call the adjuster tomorrow.
I think these guys were just too busy. They make a lot of noise on the road. Cost recovery ordinance.
Open item.
Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna do the other one. Man, this is gonna go fast. Recycling. I got nothing other than well, I got nothing. No one put the new ramp there yet.
Nobody's taking the signs over yet.
Nope.
You give her one last call and Blackburn will take them over. They'll never find them.
Okay, fire department, Rob's turned in a report. He had to leave. I don't know if everyone read it or not, but the major thing, so they're having to organize a Halloween parade, which was gonna take place on the 31st. The parade will, as you see crossed off, start at the Catholic Church on Fifth Street. So they're gonna have to start like, I don't know where, probably in the middle of the road. The Catholic Church was not so inclined to let them be in the parking lot. Because the Catholic Church looks at that as a demonic event. That's what they said,
Okay,
so
let's go.
I don't get
We're not gonna
that.
solve that problem. Go ahead.
No, I could say some other statement, but I won't say it out loud anyways. And that's it. The rest of the reports on, if anyone wants to read. Great pumpkin race, and hopefully there's a good Halloween turnout. Which there probably will be if it's decent weather. Zoning administrator, we have a report along with the violations. Roads. You didn't go to the road meeting, did you, anymore? We have to appoint somebody for that now too, don't we? We'll wait till after the election.
Can we back up?
I'm sorry, yes.
Zoning administration, the report. I know Bob just showed it to me quickly, but it wasn't in the packet, so
Oh,
I just want a copy of it before we leave.
So
Please.
I think I emailed it to you, but you don't have your laptop, so it came in.
Okay.
it came in yesterday.
We don't get it, we don't have it.
We don't have it.
We didn't
Clear.
get it till Monday sometime from the company.
Well, received on the
I
8th.
think it's separate from sending the packet to you. I don't even need it from.
Okay, I'll double check and resend it.
No, that's not the one. This is the one you want.
I'll give her both, that's fine,
No, it's okay, if he emailed it, I'm good. I just,
okay. So roads, I don't know, I don't know what Brad said last month, still don't have the Pacer rating, which is gonna give us the Pacer rating for gravel roads, that should be hopefully before the end of the month.
Yeah, we're gonna need here relatively soon any types of budgetary estimates that he has for any of the projects that he's talked about, so we can figure out what's.
Where
gonna get
we're
done,
at,
What's not gonna get done, when it's gonna get done. But
So you-
secondly,
so you're gonna do it, or are you gonna calculate it based on his?
he needs to provide us the engineer's estimates and then what he thinks it's gonna be for those,
Okay.
chip seals, because they're paying for the overlay.
They're paying for the overlay, the chip seals, if he does them all, we're gonna be up over 300,000.
That's what he said, I just wanna get a
Okay,
real number from him.
okay, planning commission. Oh, and do you have anything else on roads? I don't think so. We'll wait for all that stuff to come in. We'll have to appoint someone to attend the meetings, which would be nice, but we'll wait till after the election.
Thinking about a liquor inspector too.
Yeah. That's a good job. What, you go and taste liquor, how many days a month do you do that?
Daily.
Daily. Oh, and you get paid for it.
Yes.
That's really.
Well, you
nice.
think I'm gonna pick up the check?
Oh, we'll talk about that. Okay, planning commission. David?
Well, we've got half of our planning commission attending the citizen planner training sessions out in Brown Township. We had our first session last Thursday. And looking forward to the others, without any, real business before us and with those training sessions on Thursday, we're not gonna have a meeting in October.
Okay,
And we'll be done in November and we'll see if anything comes to the forefront.
okay,
One thing, I did speak with, Jody Lynch a couple days ago. We had some discussion about the inequities of, allowable building sizes in residential versus ag for accessory buildings. And in residential, you can have more accessory building square footage than you can in ag, which seems a little backwards.
say it again. That's backwards.
In residential, you can actually end up with, you can end up with a second. You can end up with a second accessory building. In residential, if you have enough acreage,
Okay, and an ag?
and in ag.
You can build as many-
with the same acreage, you can't. I mean, there are smaller ag parcels,
You can build as many ag buildings as you want.
not in the smaller ag parcels, you can't.
Oh,
Cause I thought the language was something like size to the need of. use.
Well, anyway,
okay.
we're gonna look
Look
at
at
the
it.
inequities and.
So you mean if a small 5 acre parcel was ag? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Well, sure,
It
surely
it
should
came
have,
up because we had a large residential parcel. The one out on Crescent Beach Road,
right, you can only do,
and he
you can do two.
was allowed 1,200 square foot, he wanted to do 1,2400.
Right, you have to get a variance, which
And he
you
got the
guys
var-
granted,
and
which
he got the
was
variance.
smart and I think the logical thing to do. So you're telling me in ag, you can't have two, oh,
I
okay,
don't know it
okay,
but from memory, but
Okay.
we're gonna look at that and try to proportionally try to do an amendment, but that the county planners they don't draft ordinance revisions as part of their contract. So I'm hoping to work on it, and then I'm
Okay.
hoping to get Mr. Forth to see what mistakes I've made.
okay. Yeah, you're talking about just on that or in life in general? Oh, just on that, okay, I'm just.
So far.
Okay, what I'd like you guys still to look at is tiny houses somewhere. If you think it might be something the township wants to look into as a group and discuss it.
Oh, we had Tracy Davis in. And,
And you haven't conferred with the group to say, what do they think in general?
no, yeah.
Okay. It'd be good to have a recommendation if you guys think that's
Good thing to
something,
circle back in November.
okay. I think it's important, it's coming out more and more all over, so. Okay, anything else, David?
No.
No, well, thank you. And ZBA, no meeting now. Correct, nothing scheduled. Okay, assessor and board review, so we have a board review, they're not coming up till December. Assessor, I can tell you all we're doing now is going out and rechecking building permits. So if you see someone around measuring the house next to you, or if it's a new house, that's what we're doing. That'll be for the next month or so. Harbor Commission, I don't know if we had anything in the packet. We get anything from Jim?
No.
No, we did not, okay. Parks and Rec. Vic.
Okay, well, the meeting minutes for both August and September are up on the site, both unapproved because we didn't have a quorum in September to approve the August meetings. The September agenda is also out there. There was some discussion about storage. Just wanted to bring to your attention that John Wemlinger mentioned that while the board was concerned about taking them up on their offer, we didn't want to put them out spending money on something when we might have a solution right behind. John just wanted everybody to know that the village would have no expense, that apparently Wayne Miller would donate whatever time he needed. So that's for your consideration one way or another. We have within our budget enough money to add a sign. But rather than just do it, I always like to make sure that you guys are in the loop. So what I have is a picture of a sign that is out at Seymour that points towards the kayak launch and the DNR thing. And if you look right behind it, you'll see a proposed sign, because we get a lot of complaints that people don't know which way to go to get to the kayak sign, and more particularly, how to get to Point Park. So you see that there's just a little addition on page 2, and then page 3 is the cost to do that. So again, we are still well within our budget on supplies, and would like to make sure that you guys are okay with doing that before we move forward.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And it's just one-sided, so you don't, the other side, you don't need it because you're coming from there, is that what
Yeah, you already been there.
well, yeah, well, okay,
But you might have.
we'll go with that. We'll go with that. You might have forgot you were just there. Okay.
Next.
I don't think it needs a
the
motion.
maintenance employee,
Probably don't need a motion.
we reduced the hours of the maintenance employee for obvious reasons, but one of the things that's come up is the Langland bathroom. Just like the DNR bathroom is open until the 15th of November. Originally, that was done so they would be consistent. And in fact, we had some discussions with the village, and we want to get consistent with the village as well. They put a porta potty out, and there was some discussion about whether we should do that. I don't want to address that at this meeting. But what I do want to mention is, as long as that bathroom is open, it can end up being in very ugly conditions. So we thought we'd keep that employee until close date, maybe just one day a week, to make sure that it needs to be done. So again, we're well within our overall budget. So
Use that according to what you
And I
said.
don't know, Vic, again, depending on use, we've had an extraordinarily nice fall, but I mean, they have running water, so they have to necessarily close that down
Right.
sooner than we would potentially, because we don't have to worry about that, so.
there's a tree down at the end of the road end at Forest Point Road in Clark. I'm gonna ask Anthony to remove it. It just, I've got pictures of it, but I didn't look as I went by, but it's a large tree that fell in that road end, right where they mow. So I'm gonna have them cut it up and take it out. Al Taylor mentioned that there's concern about fireworks at Langland, that there's a lot of debris that's cleaned up from fireworks, and they actually do it a lot out there. I don't know personally whether that's an issue, but he was pretty adamant that it is a problem. I added to the Q&A section of the park site, can I use fireworks? And the answer is no. So I've done that. I looked at the ordinance, and it calls out, no fireworks in public places, but it doesn't mention specifically parks or Langland. I don't know that we want to do anything about that. Really don't have a recommendation. I'll let you know that we've had that discussion.
And we've had people complain for years about that whole stretch there on Lake Michigan where people go down and do that. I don't know what to,
That is an ongoing problem. It's a problem in all parks, not just Onekama.
no, I would say
Well,
probably.
one of the things that came up is should we put another sign out there? I don't know that we should or not. I mean, people ignore the signs anyway, but so again, I don't have a recommendation. It's just something we've discussed. Next is the trail project. Right now I've got a meeting scheduled for the 23rd, a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We were asked to have it when the businesses can attend. The tentative agenda has been published for weeks out on the website. I've received an updated one and we're gonna need to work through some differences between the published one and a recently proposed one. We'll work that out between now and then, but
Okay, who's proposing the agenda? Is that
the
Parks?
the trails,
The trail.
the trails team is making that.
And you checked the date today with Mandy,
The
that's all
date
okay?
is open and I put it on the manual board up there and then I put it out on the
Website?
website.
Okay.
That it's tentatively scheduled for that date.
Okay.
And then Chris and Dave are part of that in case you guys have any comment you want to make, but we're gonna work our way through that. We've got a public meeting scheduled for the 23rd.
Okay,
Open unresolved issues, just as a reminder of things that are important to Parks and Rec, but we haven't gotten to them for a variety of reasons, whether it's our own time or whatever, but there's that ongoing, request about the Glen Bridge project, whether we do a bridge or get an easement, and we haven't moved forward on that. We've talked about the storage. We've revised our bylaws, but Ed wants to get all the bylaws consistent. Ours is ready and that'll get published at some point down the road. We've talked about a donation policy because we have some open requests for people that want to put names on benches. And at this point, we really haven't come up with a donation policy.
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, it's something that we should get to at some point. We want to have something simple. The ones we looked at are 27 pages long. So we want to come up with something. But again, these are just items we've talked about. Again, the Avenue E washout, I was there today. It still isn't done, but Bob has contacted the road commission. So I guess I'll get to it when I can. And then the final thing is management of invasive species at park. Who's going to own that? Is that going to be invasive species committee or is it going to be parks? From my perspective, it's not a Parks and Rec issue, it's an invasive species issue, but, one way or another, we just need to decide who owns that.
How about both groups worked on it? I mean,
Well, who's gonna budget for it? Are we gonna budget for invasive species at each of the parks and that sort of thing?
I think it's a parks expenditure.
Yes,
Who manages that is a different issue, or who brings the expertise to bear, but I think the invasive species committee has their hands full of managing the lake and the riparian areas. I'd be happy to have the parks and give you the resources needed to get somebody in there to deal with them, and then you guys can have the parks maintained to your satisfaction with the species.
the reason that started was that you have invasive species in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an invasive species on contract. Why not use them to identify your invasive species and let them take care of it? That it's still a park.
so park could be a
Using them
separate
as-
bill. It
We
wouldn't
had a conference call with Doug and with Tyler, with Michelle and myself. And this was over a year ago, and in that conversation, Doug felt that it really belongs to invasive species, but, and, I defer, I
Yeah,
So,
the game, but I'm okay that we handle it, if we will budget for the resources. I'm okay that we contracted.
so, that helps me. I actually have a message into Tyler because we right now are developing an RFP both for the watershed management services and then the invasive species treatment services. And he in there, it brings up terrestrial. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, time out. Where's this coming from? And then I didn't know, based on the special assessment district, what was allowable. So that at least answers my question where, what may have driven that being in that RFP, but
I think the special assessment, I have to go back and look at the exact.
That's the
language. It
thing I
talks
wanted to
about
look
the
at.
lake, but it also talks about, right, I think like adjacent riparian wetland areas.
Well, but that is,
But that's not what we
No.
have in the parks. I personally think that you keep your RFP nice and clean, because there's a lot of other resources that communities can use for terrestrial invasive species. There's the Northwestern
Invasive Species Network.
Invasive
Yeah.
Species Network. We use those down in the city. And there's other people that, you know, treat autumn olive and treat whatever it might be. And
Tyler would be aware of all that.
yeah, absolutely. And also the conservation district has resources that they,
That's Tyler.
yeah, right. But I mean, so I think
you
you
don't
don't
no.
mingle the two, is
No.
my opinion on it. And I don't know that the invasive species bylaws,
They
We
could
can
challenge,
look
they
at that.
challenge it for one thing. I don't think.
well,
you can do
we
it.
certainly wouldn't pay for it out of that special assessment. But I don't know that their bylaws charge them with even looking at that. We have to review that again, so.
So
It
really,
feels like it needs to be
It
separate.
was just the water.
We should get an assessment of each one of the parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then bring that assessment as part of the budgeting process.
To the
I
township.
think that makes perfect sense.
No.
Do that. That's all I got. Well, excuse me, parks are pretty important.
No, short. That's what I meant.
Thank you, Dave.
No, that was great, Beck. Thank you. Evasive. So we basically touched on that.
Do you have anything to add, Cindy?
Nada? Wow, thank you.
no, but I do want to see the document, just.
Oh, sure. Okay, public comment again then. Is anybody online?
No,
Is there even anybody online?
There's 5 people on.
Is anybody on Zoom or had a public comment? Unmute yourself.
take the
No.
hint, Dave,
What?
take the hint.
Gone. Okay.
I'll make a motion, we pay bills.
Jump the gun.
Second by anybody?
Second,
I think that was gonna happen. Any discussion for some reason that I don't know about the bills? Okay.
Correspondence.
I see that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Letter from Nancy Baker.
Somebody's got it, I mean,
It's in the packet.
Okay, so we don't need to,
No, I mean, just
okay.
different.
All the different errors, so. Just an update letter?
yeah. Kind of,
Basically says, reminds us that they know that there's a deed restriction on it, and they're gonna make sure that they're.
Oh, follow. I don't, okay, so I had a call on the weekend, but it didn't have to do with them, it had to do with somebody else. And they're gonna, guys are gonna go out duck hunting, and someone came and put no trespassing signs out in the water. So, the person called me and asked if the township did it. And I said, no, we did not put no trespassing sign.
printer,
Huh?
we don't have printer or sign.
Well, they were out actually in the water, and I said, wasn't us, so.
It's a duck hunter thing.
That's all, that was it, I just reported because it was a call to me, so. I don't have anything else,
What's the word?
this would be adjourned at a new
Thank you.
world record,
Uh,
4:50.
I'm liking this clerk thing.
That's a first.
Are we adjourned?
Don't
We're
adjourn
adjourned.
last.
Huh?